This week we're going to work with the cognitive challenge dimension. Most tasks fall somewhere along this continuum. At one end of the continuum are cognitively undemanding tasks. These are tasks that don't require a lot of thought or mental work. At the other end of the continuum are cognitively demanding tasks. These tasks require complex thinking and processing of information. The second dimension we're going to look at is the context dimension. Most tasks also fall somewhere along the line in this continuum between high and low context. High context tasks are those where you have a lot of background knowledge and support for your work. Low context tasks are more complex because you are working in an unfamiliar context and have no support. When you put these two continuums together, you get the context and cognitive challenge grid. Most classroom tasks will fall somewhere in one of these quadrants, in terms of how cognitively challenging they are and how much support or context is offered. For example, in Quadrant A, you would be thinking of a task that is low challenge, that doesn't require a lot of complex thinking, and there's not a lot of support. What comes to mind is children playing on a playground. In Quadrant D, on the other hand, you are looking at a high challenge task without a lot of support, which perhaps might be a lecture in a classroom with no visuals to support it. Let's take a look at some examples. So low challenge, high context would be a social conversation with a friend about how your day was. Low challenge, but low context might be a phone call home to a parent. That would be low context just because you don't get the visual and social clues that you do in a face-to-face conversation. It would probably be low challenge because you're not doing any academic work in that phone call. A high challenge, high context task might be doing a science experiment in a classroom and then writing up a lab report using a graphic organizer. You are doing grade-level cognitively challenging work, but there's lots of hands-on support and graphic organizer support. Lastly, the high challenge, low context could be a standardized test in a classroom. Those can be very challenging cognitively, and there's not a lot of support. So, when we think of using the context and cognitive challenge grid for bilingual learners, the optimal type of task is going to be high context, high challenge. That's what we're aiming for in our classrooms for bilingual learners, and probably with all learners. The guiding questions for this week are: how am I providing cognitively challenging tasks for learners at all language levels? And what types of scaffolds am I providing for my bilingual learners?